I might have just gone and done something a bit out of character. I just went out and spent £250 on new makeup. Okay, I need to explain myself. I won't spend a lot of money on clothes and things like handbags and shoes. I am very frugal when it comes to clothes. One place where I am not frugal is when it comes to makeup. I get wowed into places like Charlotte Tilbury and Kevin Aucoin and Space NK, and I will spend all my money there. It's a weakness. Now the reason why I've actually gone out recently and spent so much money on makeup, despite the fact that I got some left over, is just because I'm trying to be a little bit more ethical when it comes to shopping for makeup. Now I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have been learning more and more about companies like Nestle and how they seem to own the world. So I've been looking for more ethical brands and brands that are no way connected to brands like Nestle. It's difficult to buy makeup that is ethical in the sense of it's cruelty free, but it's not owned by a sister company or owned by a massive conglomerate that does animal testing or destroys our planet in some way. So I was told to go to Charlotte Tilbury, so I did. So I've been switching over from things like Clarins, MAC, Yves Saint Laurent, Bobbi Brown. The trouble is, I love all these makeup products. There's been nothing that has been better suited to my skin than things like the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Clay.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend.
Foundation. It's perfect for me, but I don't want to buy it anymore because I believe that Yves Saint Laurent is somehow part of the L'Oreal group and L'Oreal is somehow part of Nestle, so we're not doing that anymore. So I switched to a company called Becca, and then it turns out that Yves Saint Laurent then bought them out, so there was no point me like switching my foundation to Becca because so basically we're out with those as well. What I wanted to do today was meet the request of a couple of my clients and put together my all-day, everyday, basic look using all the old products that I have been using, a couple of my new, and please know that I have been switching to more ethical brands and spending a lot of money doing so. And I will show you how I put this into some semblance of a decent look. Right, so little skin overview. This is my skin at the moment. I do nothing particularly special for my skincare routine. I just drink water, eat healthy, and I swear by this stuff, which is my intensive moisture balance, and that is pretty much the only skincare that I do. So I always prep my skin by washing it and putting that on. I just use a very light foundation and I create my own using this Kevin Aucoin. There's Sensual Skin Enhancer. So all I do is I mix a little bit of this with my skin primer. At the moment, I know it's probably not the best thing to do, but I spent so much money in the makeup shops the other day that I don't want to spend £40 on a primer, so I'm just using this Perfect Fix, and what I'm going to do is mix it together. In my nervousness at never doing a makeup tutorial before, I forgot to mention the brush. What I'm using here is a stippling brush, and I use this so I can have a light coverage. If I'm going for a heavier look, I will tend to use a more compact brush or even a beauty blender. And then I just go in with my flat-headed brush so I could sculpt in around my eyebrows and my eyes. So I'm literally on the last shreds of this stuff before I switch over to my new stuff from Charlotte Tilbury. Then I really like having this flat brush. I find that I can kind of push it in a bit more. And I always buy my under eye foundation or under eye concealer a couple of shades lighter than my foundation. Now, I don't like my face tan at all when I go on holiday. It looks ridiculous because I go very, very dark and then I have a white face. I match my foundation to the true colour of my face, or my, is it called the décolleté? That's how I match my foundation, and that's a good tip for you. And then I will darken it up, and I'll show you how I do that in a minute. So there we are, that just brightens up underneath the eyes. Voila. So I'm not very good at doing this into the camera, so I have got my mirror here, so I'm like, so now that's done, I just put a little bit of primer on my eyes. The one I'm using at the moment is Painterly, and it's a MAC one. And as I said, again, I'll be switching up, but look, I've had this thing for years before I even knew any of this stuff. I just go in with my finger and then put it all along the lid. Oh, face full of me, sorry. I bring it right up to the eyebrow. And a little bit in the corners. Like, I've got a pretty shapeless face, like it's quite round, and the only reason why I've got cheekbones is because I've got these ridiculously overdeveloped jaw muscles. I mean, look at this. Who has jaws like that? I've got like biceps on my jawline. Sometimes I feel like I want a little extra pop, so I will use a stick foundation. This one's Bobbi Brown. Again, I'm switching up from it, but it's just, I mean, I've had this 5 years, and look. In there like so. And then I get a stippling brush, same brush that I put my actual foundation on with, and just work it in. Just any residue that's left on the brush, I go just there and just there. And as you can see already, I've got a little bit of a natural contour going on. Next thing I do is I fix all my foundation, and I don't bake at all, like, you know, when you put the powder on, I don't do that, I just boom and very lightly work it all through my face. So I'm on the last dregs of my Bobbi Brown pencil. I actually have my eyebrows tattooed on, or ombre tattooed on, which I have done a video on. I'll put a card there. So all I do is I just take a little bit of an eyebrow pencil or palette, and I'll just gently fill it in. As I said, I told you I was using up all my products. Everything that I'm using, there's so little left. Now, normally if I was going with more in the way of eyeshadow, I would have done my foundation last of all, because sometimes you get fallout from the brush onto your eyes. But we're just going in with the lightest colour. I'm just using this one, which is a Laura Mercier in Guava. So it's such a light colour that any fallout doesn't matter, because you can just brush it away. But otherwise I would tend to do my foundation last. But as I said, this is my 5-minute, normally done at 6 o'clock in the morning, makeup routine before I go to work in the gym. I always take a little bit of the colour and I put it just in the creases under the eye, because especially as us ladies are getting a little bit older, you can get a little bit of cream foundation caught in the creases. I have one brush for everything else that we're doing now. I again bought this Becca palette before I realised that Becca had been bought out by Yves Saint Laurent. Please do let me know if I'm being wrong in any of my assumptions about who owns what, because I am learning. This is a journey I'm putting myself through, and I really would like to switch to all ethical brands. So I use this one palette here, and then back up here. And I imagine that I'm doing a 3, so kind of a 1, there we are, from there to there. From there. Good. I prefer to use a liquid highlighter, so the one we are using is Becca, but again I've just switched over to Charlotte Tilbury, but I'm going to use the Becca one up. I've got quite a shapeless face, so I do like to build up a bit of cheekbones here. This is Champagne Pop by Becca. So I just put a little bit on the top of the lid just so I can control it, and then I'll just dot it all by my eyes here and underneath, a bit up there, and then I run it a little bit down my nose there, always a bit at the end, and then right there on your lip. And then I just take a extra soft squashy pad and then I just work it in. That. But lately I have been setting it, because this palette came with a powdered version of the Champagne Pop, so I just use the same brush that I did for all my contouring, and then I'll just work a little bit of the powder in to set it. Then everywhere where the stuff went, I'll set it. Then just whack the brush off. Tiniest little bit of blush on the end. Just on the apples, from there. Then I whack any excess powder off, and then I'll work it in a bit more. Right. This is my biggest beauty hack, is getting a kabuki brush, I think they're called. Don't use any fixing spray at all, but I get the brush and I stipple my makeup in. I really like pound it in, just all over. And it's a really good way of blending in and making your makeup last for longer. Don't drag, bang. Pulling it up into your ears, onto your ears, right into your hairline. This way you're blending everything out. There's nothing worse than having a beautiful face and then that line or pink ears. There we go. Perfect. Aren't I a goddess? If I'm feeling particularly tired, I will just go in with the same powdered foundation. I don't do this with liquid because otherwise it will go into your mascara, and I'll just highlight around my eyebrows. Just underneath and a little bit in the corner. And I've been promoting this to all my clients for years, is this mascara. It is the Aucoin Volume Mascara in black. This stuff is magic. It will never ever smudge. It's an excellent mascara to use just on its own if you want a very subtle, slightly elongated look, or if you wanted to have really thick lashes, then I would use my ordinary mascara. Any mascara that you've got, put it on. I never use waterproof mascara because this makes everything waterproof, and then I'll use that as a top. I don't know if I can do this on camera. I'm gonna do that for mascara face. And it's always good to put mascara on by looking down at a mirror so you don't get that kind of speckled look from your mascara on the lid. Then I like to look forward and then I can see where I want to take it a bit more out to the side. The very last thing that I do is a tiny slick of lip gloss. One is Candy Wrapped by MAC. And that, my friends, is the finished look. Could not feel more like a knob doing that. If I am on my own doing this and I'm not talking to you guys, this takes me honestly under 5 minutes to do, and it just makes me feel a little bit more in control of myself and put together for my day. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. It lets me know you like this kind of content and I'll do more. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, join this little family. I put informational videos out every single Thursday, so you'll get health, fitness, training, nutrition, how to lose weight, how to maintain your weight. I'll do a little bit of domestic organisation, beauty, the occasional vlog. Leave me a comment below, give me any suggestions, and I'll see you all next week.